So we're going to go over cards that you may be afraid of that you really shouldn't be. For whatever reason, whether, you kind of got yourself in the mess, or because really honestly there's a misunderstanding on the card. The Five of Cups is one a lot of people get afraid of. This is your tiny violin because you had a bunch of cups and one of them spilled. So you have a lot of opportunities and only one thing went wrong. So people get afraid. If you're a control freak, that's definitely what happens. You get afraid of the Five of Cups because that one thing, that one cup. Nine of Swords. Okay, this is the redundant card. So I'm afraid. I got the Nine of Swords. It means afraid. So it means that nightmares and fears in your own head. And it's a direct quote of a lot of books. And it really is, it's in your head. You're just having nightmares. Nightmares can't hurt you. Neither can the Nine of Swords. It means, hey, you have anxiety. Take a deep breath. It's really just in your head. Okay, so Ten of Wands is the other one. This is kind of like the little devil. Ten of Wands. And it's because Ten of Wands means that you did a whole bunch of stuff, you overworked yourself, and now you're stressed out. So you have a lot of things in the physical that are tying you down, and you wouldn't let them go. So now you have a lot of sticks, and you bit off more than you can chew. So this is kind of your own doing, but you really just need to pace yourself, take a deep breath, and you're gonna be fine. You just got everything you wanted, unfortunately, so you gotta kind of, Judgment is one of those cards that everyone kind of gets afraid of once in a while because it means judgment, and other people are judging you. Really, there's no need to be afraid of this card because really it is a higher connection coming down. So it means higher knowledge. So it's judgment on yourself from your higher self. So this is like the big ding that happens, like the aha moment. So really, honestly, there's no need to be afraid of this card. This is the Hermit card. So the Hermit is one of the most feared when it comes to people who have been doing tarot for a long time. And it really, you don't need to be afraid of the Hermit. It just means self-work. So it means isolation, but it means kind of isolation within yourself. That you need to look deep inside of you and decide if this is part of your self-growth. It's more soul work than anything. It can mean physical isolation, but because you need to work on the inner self. So next we'll go over the Big Devil. And so the Big Devil everyone is afraid of, but they really shouldn't be. Because it really is of your own doing. So I said there are cards that are of your own doing, and we just went over another one, we're going over another one again. So the Devil is chains and obsessions within the physical realm. So when you have the Devil card, it can be sometimes even a good thing because it means money, basic resources. However, usually when you get it, it means that you have obsessions and chains to other people because of those obsessions. So it's really, really, really important to understand that you just need to cut those chains and move forward. Three of Swords is one of the most feared cards. And even though everyone falls a victim to the Three of Swords, it gives a fair warning. 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 reasons why this is happening, and you kind of ignored the warning. Whether it was like 3 times that you felt like was not right, or 3 times that you've overstepped your bounds, and that's why the heartache is occurring. But as long as you listen the first time and fix yourself, you should be perfectly fine, so there's no reason to be afraid of this card. This is the most feared card for beginners, and it's the Death card. And if you've been doing tarot for a long time, you know that the Death card is actually not death, and it's actually an end to something or a bad cycle. A lot of times it does not mean physical death, but an end to an emotional pattern in which something new arises. And with the death card, something always new will arise. So that's the video on cards that you might be afraid of. Really honestly, there's no such thing as a bad card. In every situation, each card needs to be taken in a good and bad light, considering on the situation. These are kind of cards that you shouldn't be afraid of. I'll do another video on cards maybe you should be afraid of because they have major consequences.